Have you ever felt the need to apologize for the very space you occupy? Not for a mistake, not for a transgression, but for the fundamental way you are wired to experience the world. There's a quiet, persistent hum of inadequacy that follows some people around, a feeling that you are somehow too much and not enough all at once, too sensitive, too quiet, too deep. You move through rooms filled with laughter and confident chatter, and you feel like a visitor from another world, trying to learn a language whose grammar is based on a logic you simply cannot grasp. You watch people navigate the intricate games of social status, small talk, and casual indifference, and you feel a profound sense of exhaustion, not boredom, but a soul-deep weariness. As if you've been running a marathon that everyone else seems to think is a leisurely stroll. And in that moment, the most natural impulse is to turn inward and ask, "What is wrong with me? Why can't I just play along?" But what if I were to suggest to you that this feeling of being out of step is not a symptom of your brokenness, but the first stirring of your awakening? What if that deep, resonant ache of loneliness in a crowded room is not a sign that you are lost, but a signal that you are finally beginning to find yourself? Imagine an entire orchestra, every instrument slightly out of tune, all playing a frantic, dissonant piece of music with great enthusiasm. And you, in the middle of it all, are the one instrument that is perfectly tuned. To the orchestra, you are the one making the strange, incorrect sound. Your clarity sounds like discord to them. Their noise feels like a violation to you. The problem, you see, is not your tuning. The problem is you've been trying to harmonize with a world that has forgotten what music is supposed to sound like. This feeling that you carry, this sensitivity that you've been taught to see as a curse, is actually your perfect pitch. It is the unerring, unshakable ability to hear the truth. And for that, you must never, ever apologize. You see, the society we have constructed is a magnificent and elaborate stage play. From the moment we are born, we are handed a script. We are assigned a role, given our costumes, and told where to stand. The play is about many things: success, accumulation, power, attractiveness. But its primary rule is that you must never, under any circumstances, admit that you are acting. The performance must be mistaken for reality. Everyone must agree that the cardboard sets are real mountains, and the glass jewels are real diamonds. And for the most part, the cast is brilliant. They deliver their lines with conviction. They laugh on cue. They cry when the script demands it. And they applaud each other's performances with genuine-seeming fervor. But you have a problem. You keep noticing things. You see the frayed edges of the backdrop. You hear the whispers of the stagehands in the wings. You notice the same actor playing 3 different roles simply by changing his hat. You see the desperate anxiety in the eyes of the king, the profound sadness in the forced smile of the queen. You cannot unsee the artifice. And when you try to speak your lines from the script you were given, they feel like dust in your mouth. They are foreign. They don't match the reality your senses are reporting to you. The disease of the collective is this tacit agreement to ignore the truth in favor of the performance. It's a mass hypnosis, a conspiracy of convenience, where everyone pretends the game is real because the alternative, the vast, unstructured, and unpredictable nature of actual existence, is too terrifying to contemplate. Your pain, your anxiety, your feeling of alienation is not a personal failure. It is a healthy, sane, and predictable reaction of an authentic consciousness to an inauthentic environment. You are not sick because you cannot digest poison. Your system is working perfectly. The exhaustion you feel is not from a lack of effort, but from the superhuman effort of trying to pretend that poison is food. It is the psychic toll of constantly translating, of trying to force your round soul into the square holes of social expectation. You are a deep-sea creature, built for the immense, quiet pressure of the abyss, being told you must learn to thrive in the frantic, sun-scorched shallows. You are not failing to breathe. You are drowning. And the first step to survival is to stop apologizing for needing the ocean. And this brings us to the things you must stop apologizing for. The first, and perhaps the most fundamental, is this. Never apologize for your need for silence in a world that is addicted to noise. How many times have you been called shy or antisocial or standoffish simply because you chose a quiet corner over the chaotic center? How often have you feigned a headache or an early morning just to escape the relentless bombardment of chatter, of music, of opinions, of demands? The world operates on the assumption that presence is participation, and participation is noise. To be silent is to be absent. To be still is to be unproductive. But you know this is a profound misunderstanding. Your silence is not an absence. It is a presence of a different kind. It is a full and vibrant space. It is the canvas upon which real thoughts can be painted. It is the concert hall in which the subtle music of your own being can finally be heard. The noise of the world is a form of distraction, a frantic attempt to avoid the encounter with the self. It is the endless scrolling, the background television, the constant stream of podcasts and notifications, all designed to prevent a single, terrifying moment of unfiltered being. But you, sensitive soul, you crave that unfiltered state. Your silence is not empty. It is a pilgrimage to your own center. It is the act of returning home. It is where you process, where you heal, where you disentangle your own feelings from the feelings you've absorbed from everyone else all day. Apologizing for needing this is like a tree apologizing for needing soil. It is the very source of your substance. So let them call you quiet. Let them misunderstand your stillness. You are not withdrawing from life, you are withdrawing into life. You are communing with the source. For this sacred act, no apology is ever required. The second thing you must never apologize for is for feeling everything so deeply. Our culture has developed a strange and paradoxical relationship with emotion. We celebrate it in our art, in our films, our songs, our novels. We crave stories that make us feel. Yet in our own lives, we treat deep feeling as a form of illness. Don't be so sensitive. You're overreacting. You need to develop a thicker skin. You have heard these phrases 1,000 times. They are the social anesthetic, designed to numb you, to make you more manageable, more predictable. You are told that your tears over a beautiful piece of music, your outrage at an act of injustice, your profound sorrow for a friend's pain, that these are signs of weakness, of a lack of control. But this is a lie. Your capacity to feel is not a weakness. It is a superpower. It is the difference between seeing the world in black and white and seeing it in a million vibrant, breathtaking colors. To have a thick skin is to be less alive. It is to walk through a garden and see only green shapes, while you are the one who can distinguish every shade, smell every blossom, and feel the dew on every leaf. Your empathy is not a burden. It is a form of intelligence. It is the ability to understand the world from a place beyond mere logic. It is to know in your very bones the interconnectedness of all things. When you feel another's pain, you are not being dramatic. You are bearing witness to a fundamental truth of the universe, that we are not separate. When the world tells you to toughen up, what it's really asking is for you to become less perceptive. It is asking you to turn down the volume of your own consciousness. Do not do it. Your heart, which feels so much, is not a liability. It is a compass. It points you toward what is true, what is beautiful, and what is just. Apologizing for your feelings is like the ocean apologizing for its depth. It is the very essence of what you are. Let your tears fall. Let your heart break. Let it swell with a joy so intense it feels like it might burst. You are not overreacting. You are reacting appropriately to the sheer, overwhelming, and tragic beauty of existence. You are fully alive. This leads us, naturally, to the third quality for which you owe no one an explanation: your inability to tolerate inauthenticity. You are the person at the party who can't help but notice the desperation behind the boastful story. You are the employee in the meeting who sees the fear behind the manager's aggressive jargon. You are the friend who can feel the unspoken plea for help beneath the cheerful "I'm fine." For you, the masks that people wear are not opaque, they are translucent. You see the script, you see the actor, and the dissonance between the two is a grating, uncomfortable hum that you cannot ignore. This is not a choice. It is a function of your highly calibrated perception. Others seem to navigate this world of polite fictions with ease. They engage in small talk that says nothing, they exchange compliments they don't mean, they build relationships on a foundation of shared pretenses. To them, this is just how the game is played. But for you, it feels like a betrayal, not just of others, but of yourself. To participate in it feels like lying with your entire being. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to pretend you don't see what you see. And so, you often withdraw. You are accused of being judgmental, or cynical, or aloof. What they call judgment is actually just clarity. You are not condemning the actor, you are simply pointing out that they are on a stage. You are the child in the story of the emperor's new clothes. You can't help but see that the king is naked. Apologizing for this is like apologizing for having good eyesight. The world is filled with people who are content to praise the emperor's magnificent, invisible robes because it is easier than admitting the truth. Your refusal to play along is not an act of aggression, it is an act of integrity. You are holding a space for reality in a world that is drunk on illusion. This might make you unpopular in the emperor's court, but it makes you a guardian of something far more precious: the truth. Never be sorry for seeing it. The fourth thing is one that society finds particularly vexing. You must never apologize for moving at your own natural pace. The modern world is obsessed with speed. Faster, more, now. Productivity is measured in tasks completed, emails answered, goals achieved. Life has become a checklist. To be slow is to be lazy. To be deliberate is to be inefficient. To pause is to fall behind. This relentless rhythm is a kind of violence against the human spirit. It leaves no room for contemplation, for nuance, for the slow, organic unfolding of an idea or a project or a life. But your soul operates on a different kind of time. You are not a machine on an assembly line. You are a garden. Things need to germinate in the dark. They need time to be watered, to be tended, to grow towards the light in their own way. You are the craftsman who insists on the perfect joint, not the factory worker churning out 1,000 units. You are the poet who will spend a whole day searching for a single perfect word. You understand that the most important things in life cannot be rushed. Trust cannot be rushed. Love cannot be rushed. Wisdom cannot be rushed. When you refuse to be hurried, you are not being difficult. You are honoring a deeper, more ancient wisdom. You are honoring the rhythm of nature itself. The seasons do not hurry. The moon does not race across the sky. A seed does not explode into a tree overnight. By insisting on your own pace, you are rejecting the tyranny of the clock and embracing the flow of the river. You are making a quiet, radical statement that the quality of your existence matters more than the quantity of your output. People, driven by the frantic energy of the machine world, will be impatient with you. They will try to push you. Let them. Your pace is not a flaw. It is a form of sacred resistance. It is your way of saying that you are a human being, not a human doing. For this, you owe no apology. You owe it your allegiance. And this, of course, connects to the fifth thing. Never apologize for changing your river's course. The world loves a straight line. It loves a 5-year plan. It loves the story of a person who picked a path at age 18 and walked it without deviation for the next 50 years. This is called stability, commitment, and focus. To change your mind, to switch careers, to leave a relationship, to move to a new city, to abandon a long-held belief, this is often seen as failure. It is labeled as being flaky or lost or inconsistent. It makes other people uncomfortable because it reminds them that the tracks they are on are not as permanent as they seem. But a sensitive, awake soul is in a constant state of growth. And growth is not linear. It is a spiral. It is a dance. It is a shedding of skins. To remain the same person you were 5 years ago is not a sign of stability. It is a sign of stagnation. You are here to experience, to learn, to evolve. And that means you must be willing to let go of who you were in order to become who you are meant to be next. Each change of direction is not a mistake, but a course correction based on new information. You have a more refined understanding of yourself and the world, and so you adjust your path accordingly. How could that possibly be a bad thing? Think of a river. It does not carve a straight line through the landscape. It meanders. It curves. It flows around obstacles. It finds the path of least resistance, the most natural way forward. Sometimes it is wide and slow, other times it is narrow and fast. It is always changing, yet it is always the river. You are that river. Your changes in direction are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are alive and responding to the terrain of your life. Apologizing for your evolution is like apologizing for being alive. Embrace the meander. Honor the new direction. You are not lost. You are simply in flow. The sixth thing you must cease to apologize for is your deep unwillingness to play trivial games. So much of what passes for social interaction is a complex series of games with unwritten rules. There is the status game, where people subtly jockey for position by name-dropping or displaying symbols of wealth. There is the drama game, where people create and sustain crises to feel important and alive. There is the gossip game, where bonds are formed by talking about those who are not present. There is the intellectual superiority game, where conversations are not about discovery, but about winning. You see these games being played all around you, and they feel utterly and profoundly pointless. They are a colossal waste of the precious, finite energy of a human life. It's not that you think you are above it all, it's that you are acutely aware of the shortness of our time here, and the thought of spending it engaged in such meaningless theater is heartbreaking to you. You crave genuine connection. You want to talk about what is real, our fears, our dreams, our bewilderment, our joy. You want to sit with someone in comfortable silence, not fill every moment with anxious chatter. Your refusal to play these games will often be misinterpreted. You will be seen as too serious or as someone who doesn't know how to have fun. They mistake your longing for depth as a lack of lightness. But you are not against fun, you are against the counterfeit version of it. True play, true joy is spontaneous and authentic. It is not a performance designed to manage the impressions of others. So when you decline the invitation to gossip, when you refuse to engage in a debate that is merely about ego, when you walk away from a conversation that feels hollow, you are not being rude. You are being honest. You are conserving your energy for what truly matters. You are protecting the sanctity of your own attention. Never apologize for refusing to play a game you never agreed to join. And finally, the seventh thing, which encompasses all the others, never, ever apologize for the gravity of your heart. This is the weight of your caring. It is the part of you that cannot look away from the suffering in the world. It is the part of you that feels a sense of responsibility not just for your own life, but for the collective. While others seem to skim across the surface of life, you feel its immense, crushing, beautiful weight. The news of a distant tragedy is not an abstract headline to you. You feel it in your body. The sight of a homeless person is not a social issue. It is a human being whose pain you momentarily inhabit. The destruction of the natural world is not an environmental problem. It is a deep, personal wound. You have been told that you care too much, that you should lighten up because you can't save the world. This is the ultimate gaslighting. It is the voice of a world that is desperate to normalize apathy. Your deep caring is not a pathology. It is the most sane and human response to the condition of our world. It is the sign that your heart is still working. To not feel the gravity of things is to be asleep. It is to be disconnected from the fundamental reality of our shared existence. This gravity does not mean you must live in a state of perpetual sadness. On the contrary, it is the very thing that makes profound joy possible. Because you are willing to feel the depths of sorrow, you are also capable of feeling the heights of ecstasy. Because you care so much, you can love with an intensity that is breathtaking. Your gravity is not what pulls you down, it is what gives you substance. It is your anchor in a storm. It is what makes your life meaningful. Apologizing for it would be the ultimate act of self-betrayal. It is the source of your compassion, your integrity, and your courage. It is your soul's signature. And so, you see, a quiet peace begins to settle in. Not the peace of victory, not the boisterous peace of having won an argument against the world. It is a much deeper, more resonant peace. It is the peace of surrender. You stop fighting the river. You stop apologizing for the way it flows. You realize, with a sudden, breathtaking clarity, that you are the river. The need for apology dissolves. Because how can a thing apologize for its own nature? Yes, there may be a certain loneliness in this. When you stop playing the game, you may find that you have fewer playmates. When you stop speaking the language of illusion, you may find that fewer people understand you. But this is not the desolate loneliness of isolation. It is the dignified solitude of integrity. It is the quiet companionship of your own authentic self. And that is a friend who will never, ever abandon you. It is the difference between being alone and being in good company. You begin to carry your sensitivity not as a secret shame, but as a badge of honor. It is your instrument of perception, the tool through which you experience the sublime and terrible beauty of this world. You develop a quiet power. It is not the power to control others or to bend the world to your will. It is the power to be unshakably yourself, the power to be a calm, quiet-tuned instrument in the midst of a dissonant orchestra, no longer trying to match their noise, but content to hold your own true note. So the next time you feel that old, familiar pang, that urge to apologize for your silence, for your tears, for your clarity, for your pace, for your changes, for your depth, for the very gravity of your soul, I invite you to do something different. Stop, take a breath, and listen. Listen to what that feeling is really telling you. It is not a criticism. It is a reminder. It is a signpost pointing you back, always back, to the magnificent, difficult, and sacred truth of who you are. Don't fight it. Don't apologize for it. Just listen. It is the song of your own awakening, and it is the most beautiful music in the universe.